as I know, you like a couple of years back, you almost left the VC industry.
Yeah.
And I think for a successful partner of an important VC company, that is huge, right? That could be surprising, coming across as surprising.
Yeah.
People would think that you've achieved great success, financial freedom, everything that we youngsters are looking for, essentially. What happened?
I think in the early days, I was kind of driven by the same goal as everyone, right? Money, reputation, success, whatever, corporate ranking. But around the 2022, I think a few things come together that suddenly kind of changed myself. Number one, that suddenly some of my portfolio is doing really well. Some of my personal investment is doing really well. That I also got promoted to partners. I had basically everything I dreamed for the last 10 plus years.
That's a good problem to have for many people.
And
And
then I reached my midlife crisis. And right in the mid of COVID, I suddenly started questioning myself like, why am I still doing this, right? Like, am I working for money? But I realized that money didn't really change my life. I mean, that's a part suddenly kind of like hit me hard. I remember like my daughter for like around 5 years ago, suddenly one time asked me questions like, Dandy, what's the meaning of life? And actually her question hit me hard that the last 5 years I haven't been keep thinking of these questions. And I read a lot of books about life of meaning. And ask yourself, are you enjoy what you're doing? If you're not, try to figure out why, and try to figure out that is there a better way to enjoy your life. We all have only one life, and in the end, you want to enjoy your life. There are many ways to make you feel your life better. So like certainly there are more than one path. But also fundamentally, do remember like my personal change over the last few years is that even if it's the same job, you can change your perspective.
yes.
And so that still become like different path.
Hi everyone, welcome back to More Than One Path, a podcast where we explore together the meaning of life and the diversity of life choices. For today's episode, we're honored to have Liu Genping, partner of Vertex Venture and a pioneer in Southeast Asia's venture capital industry. Now, having achieved great success in his mid-career, Genping will take us on a journey of his personal reflections from career success to deeper questions of purpose, the values that shaped him, as well as his perspectives on the future of innovation. Let's dive in. Nice. Okay, let's shake hands first.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Yeah. It's really truly our honor today, Genping. We've had a couple of conversations and you've told me several times of how you've in a way shifted your life philosophy and career philosophy after achieving relatively good career success around midlife, right? So this is something that really truly makes me want to dive deeper into it. But to begin with, would you like to maybe say hi to the audience and just give a brief introduction about yourself?
I'm Genping. I come from China to Singapore in 1997. Major in computer engineering. After graduation, practiced engineering for a few years. Get bored and went to US for MBA study. After graduation, tried different jobs, corporate development, sales account manager, and come back to Singapore and join my current firm, Vertex 2010. So I have been a VC venture capitalist for the last 15 years. Has been pretty interesting journey.
Amazing.
For myself, yeah.
I think, Genping, you've been too modest with your achievement. Essentially, Genping, you have been playing the partner role for quite a while with Vertex Ventures. At the same time, your name has also been associated with many successful companies. But I think that's not the purpose of the podcast today. I think looking through all this fame, success, we essentially want to delve deeper into your personal journey. So yeah, should we maybe first of all go back to time a little bit and you could share with us, how did you actually start your VC journey and what was it like when you first started? How was the landscape looking like?
Before I joined VC, which is 2010, actually as I shared just now, I spent quite a few years to explore different directions. 2010, after I came back to Singapore, actually, I didn't really have any job on hand. I was trying around, and in the end, one friend mentioned to me that Vertex was looking for someone. So I can actually cold call in and secure an interview opportunity, and then sit down with HR and then the management team, went through the interview and joined. That's 15 years ago. Our startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia was quite shallow. I spent more than half of my time actually traveling to Taiwan, look for Taiwan opportunities.
Okay.
Taiwan was top 3 VC destination in the world after Silicon Valley, then Israel, then Taiwan, until it kind of overshadowed by China and other ecosystem in the last 20 years. Since 2015, I focused back on Southeast Asia, and the last 10 years has seen a major development of startup and VC ecosystem in Southeast Asia, and also being a part of it, kind of like really enjoy the journey. Has been pretty interesting 15 years.
Well, you were actually in Taiwan for quite a while. I suppose the decision of moving back was not as easy. How do you take that choice that time?
The first 2 years, actually, I was traveling in between. So every month I spent 2 weeks in Taiwan. The next 2 years, I was based in Taiwan, trying to cultivate relationships. It has certainly not been easy, and it has been very rewarding, right? So that I was given a good responsibility of building connections to startup and to local corporate contact to the local investors. Has been a very good training background, and actually kind of heavily shaped my personal view about VC and my personal investment philosophy over the years.
Could you elaborate on that? How did the early years of training or approach towards VC actually train or develop your philosophy or approach in investing in the first, let's say, 10 years? How did it impact you?
So first of all, I think the most interesting thing that I learned through my 4 years in Taiwan investment is that I captured the tail end of Taiwan's tech segment's key development wave. Initially, I was looking at solar and LED, which is basically the end of clean tech development cycle.
Right.
Then next few years, I was exploring different directions. Then see the key development of smartphone supply chain. For example, TPK, I don't think many will know, TPK was the biggest touchscreen developer manufacturer from Taiwan, which overshadowed by the China smartphone ecosystem in the next few years.
Okay.
So whatever we touch at that moment, research at that moment, things has been super exciting. But you can see on the other side, Chinese supply chain are coming up, and they are cheap, they are lower quality, but they are developing very fast. What happened in the next few years, actually, the Chinese ecosystem actually overshadowed the Taiwan ecosystem. Until nowadays, Taiwan still have their core strengths in certain segment, but a lot of segment has been replaced by China. So this forced me to think hard what means in VC, right? In VC, you are not really investing in the current snapshot. You are really investing in the next 5 to 10 years. And no one knows what happened in 5 to 10 years, but you do need to form a view which become your investment thesis.
It's very
So
exciting.
that's why many startups ask me what kind of metric you need to see, what kind of business traction you need to see to get us excited to invest. I say actually we do look at history, but what we are trying to figure out is the future, right? That really directed a lot of my effort over the last 10 years.
Well, I really love how you put it. It's about looking into the future, form a view, and then have conviction on the view. And probably then draw back on what are the portfolios of company that fits into your view and your thesis towards the future. When it comes to VC, right, I remember I was just chatting with you the other day, and we were just conversing and discussing a few other questions, and you mentioned one thing. VC sometimes is also a well misunderstood industry. What is something that you think people often misunderstand about VC that unless you start to exercise in the VC role, otherwise you wouldn't know, which serves as a key success matrix in your view?
I think, for those who are interested in VC, probably watch a lot of YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
In the early days, when you read the story, it's all sounds very sexy. It's
Yeah.
super interesting and super sexy job. You kind of get to talk to the great founders. You get to learn the latest technology. You get to put money into some company which sounds there's high likelihood to become a 10, 20, 100 times the return.
Yeah.
Matter a few years. The reality is it's a super, super, super difficult job. And it's a lot of hard work, right? That no one can see the future unless you are curious enough to dig into informations, to try to understand and appreciate whatever is being built. And then if you spend enough effort with all the information collected, you slowly start to build a sense about your perspective on the future. What I cannot emphasize enough is all the hard work you put in between. That and very often the hard work has been wasted. So theoretically, every year you need to do 1 or 2 transactions to fulfill so-called
Deploy
VC,
basically the money.
But in reality, even that 1 to 2 deals per year is not necessarily easy. Right? Most of the time you spend to learn and to understand and to trying to figure out what can happen next. That's probably the most difficult part that a lot of people don't really understand.
Has there been cases where you spent numerous months, even close to years, to study a few companies, and in the end you managed to make a decision, but along the way you might think of the company and its development differently? How do you deal with that halfway, I wouldn't call it regret, or an adjusted perspective and view on the portfolios? How do you deal with that? Because it's a very long-term game.
I think most of our portfolio does not really meet the so-called prediction. I think 100% of my portfolio does not meet the prediction.
Wow, okay.
Because I only expect 1 or 2 really exceed my original prediction. But the other 40-50% almost there, but still not meet, right? Because theoretically, for us to get accepted into something that's something need to have 10 to 100 times a return. But in reality, VC portfolio only 2 to 3 really break out. 30 to 40% of them actually does not probably will end up closing down. Your question is how to handle, and I guess most of our VC life besides deal sourcing is basically to manage the other portfolios. There's no secret, right? That basically you put yourself in the shoes of founders and trying to work with them, because in the end the founder is a hero of the companies. They pour most of their energy into their company and part of their life. For us at least, it's a portfolio approach. We are not day-to-day working on it. So we try to work closely with the founder to uncover the truth and trying to change the reality. Meaning that uncover the truth is that we always need to kind of figure out new directions for the team to continue to develop or pivot. The other half of the work is probably once you figure out direction, then how to better execute that. Every job is not easy, and you can always say it's impossible until kind of founder make it possible.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a kind of a daily struggle for the founder and for ourselves.
How do you balance yourself between a potential conflicts of thoughts, directions? Because end of the day, founders are in the driving seat of making decisions.
Yeah.
But obviously, as VC, you also have unique perspectives, seeing multiple portfolios and potential competitions against the portfolio companies that you've decided to invest in. So meaning to say you might have differing views or directions that you might want to direct the company towards. How do you balance of playing an influence, but also distancing yourself?
Yeah, we generally I think different VC firm has different culture. For our firm, generally the culture is founder first, right? So that we do what we can do to influence the founders, especially we treat ourselves as advisors and advise with ideas and resource. And it's a founder's job decision to take it or leave it. So we seldom get into a conflict situation with founders unless we need to deliver our fiduciary responsibilities. We feel like it's critical for whatever reason. So yeah, we may say exercise our certain rights within the companies as a board or directors or key shareholders, and I say we don't agree. But I think 99% of the time is we try to work with them, but as an advisor say, here's what I think, but I leave it for you to decide.
Do you think that's a more effective approach, or do you think maybe in today's world where fundings are not necessarily easy, playing I wouldn't say better, but a more in-depth influence could potentially help to shave or avoid mistakes or structural mistakes?
I think in this world there are different type of investors, and we ourselves have our philosophy. And we try to pick founders along this philosophy so that the founder and us can coordinate more efficiently. It's possible another investor will take that view, but then in the beginning, when they select the opportunities, they will probably already pick, okay, this opportunity is very good, but the founder may not be strong, but it's okay. I'm going to bring in my own management team, or I'm going to be very hands-on. Especially, there are turnaround investors. There are also funds who are really more hands-on. I think whatever culture of a fund is okay. If you execute well, then it all makes sense. If your philosophy kind of contradict with the type of transaction you want to get in, then probably that's where the disaster happens.
Absolutely. Fundamentally, the approach and how you see the future of the specific industry or the type of models that you're going for has to be at least aligned somewhat. Okay. Now let's dive a little bit back to the fundamental drivers of your role as a VC, right? You mentioned, I hear some keywords because just now you mentioned curiosity, right? You also mentioned hard work. You also mentioned patience, right? How do you derive those key criteria essentially in driving you to continue your VC career? Because as I know, you like a couple of years back, you almost left the VC industry.
Yeah.
And I think for a successful partner of an important VC company, that is huge, right? That could be surprising, coming across as surprising.
Yeah.
People would think that you've achieved great success, financial freedom, everything that we youngsters are looking for essentially. What happened?
Yeah,
What made you almost left the VC
I
industry?
think in the early days, I was kind of driven by the same goal as everyone, right? Money, reputation, success, whatever, corporate ranking that I myself or generally we Asian culturally been trained to pursue. But it has been like that for the first 10, 12 years of my career. And around the 2022, I think a few things come together that suddenly kind of changed myself, right? That number one, that suddenly some of my portfolio is doing really well. Some of my personal investment is doing really well. That I also got promoted to partners. I had basically everything I dreamed for the last 10 plus years.
That's a good problem to have for many people.
And then
what's the but?
kind of I reached my midlife crisis. So I'm about that time 44 years old, and right in the middle of COVID, a lot of things meddling with your mental, like all the shit going around the world. Then I started kind of lose energy, right? So even nowadays, I'm still trying to figure out what happens to me. I guess it's like you reach the peak, right? That there are people who will regain energy. See, there's another peak there. I need more and more. But for me, I suddenly started questioning myself, like, why am I still doing this, right? Like, am I working for money? But I realized that money didn't really change my life. I mean, if this is quite common, that after that I followed some very successful entrepreneurs who got the money and realized went through tough life period and come up with the conclusion money does not change that much. Then am I looking for something else? That's a part suddenly kind of hit me hard. Like what am I working on? Life continues, but daily schedule is very busy. There's still a lot of work to deliver. Right. But then suddenly you lost the driver, right? The motivation, then every day I'm asking why I'm still so busy working on it. Kind of mentally, I get lost and I don't know what am I working on, and then that kind of translate into stress, which translate into body pain, become very severe, back pain. Later on, I also read some books that your mind and body is connected.
Right.
And actually, for anyone who has a back pain, you probably also want to explore this mind-body connection concept.
Right.
Then, one day, basically, I discussed with my boss, I can't really do this, that I need some time off.
What pushed you to make that decision? Was it the pain from the body, or the fact that the loss of motivation and drive just couldn't sustain you in even completing your day-to-day task?
During that period, I can see that every day, if I work in front of computer for, say, 20 minutes, my pain become so bad, I can't really stand still there. I need to figure out ways to relax my muscle for a few hours. I can still push myself to stay in front of computers, but it just like become very difficult to keep going on. And that time, our fund also started a new fundraising round, which is our current fund 5. And from there, it will get worse. It can't get better. So I was trying to understand why that my body becomes so pain, right? That I did a lot of MRI, all the scan stuff, and I even visited like 4 doctors almost going for surgery.
Wow.
And all the doctors suggest you to do a surgery because as you age, you have kind of degenerations. Later on, I realized it happens to 80% of people. And the only solution doctor can give you is go for surgery, which is totally wrong, right? So another lesson learned. So luckily I didn't go, and luckily I kind of like made the decision to kind of stay away from my work for a while until I figure out. And luckily my firm gave me the opportunity. Then I took about 1.5, almost 2 years, like becoming a part-time.
What did you do? I wonder what were the steps or so-called investigation that you do into your life, into your body situation, into your mind? What do you do to figure yourself out?
I visited a lot of doctors.
First of all, visit the
I did
doctor
a lot of
and see what
scans.
went wrong.
I visited doctors, and in the beginning I thought it's a physical problem, right? So until I read the book, I think called the Mind-Body Connection, or there's actually the author read 2 books, Mind-Body Connection, and another one's the back pain or something that I can share later. And I realized that maybe fundamentally there's also something going on with my mind.
Your mind.
I read a lot of philosophy book, psychology book, the midlife crisis book.
Okay.
And somehow all of them kind of hit me one way or another. I say all this situation kind of does apply to me. Right. From there, I realized that probably more something deep going on. That you say besides the physical pain, that my mental situation at that moment is also like, hey, shit, I got everything I want. Why I'm not happy?
Yeah,
right?
you're like, why?
Yeah.
It's so confusing and lost.
It is really confusing, and I was really lost. And I think for a while I got so lost, and actually I get into a bit depression, right? So that you won't know what's a feeling until you kind of get into that situation. I never really understand why people get depression, but when the moment I get it, then I say, okay, like, this must be depression. That you just somehow don't feel like positive, and for whatever reason you can't understand, you are not feeling good. And it's beyond physical. Physical pain still continues, right? So that, but certainly beyond physical. Physical does not change your mind like that. So
Absolutely.
that then I was doing part time. Actually, for a while, I was thinking like maybe I should just quit my job, do something else. But now I was exploring different directions. I ended up nothing. It's just like I don't feel anything else is interesting enough for me. It's just like I think we see also kind of train me in a certain way, right? Constantly get exposed to new ideas that you're not patient enough to stay in with a single thing. I pick up different things. I to a point that actually I pick up sailing. I wanted to buy a boat until I realized
Sailing.
That
You just went far from investment to sail.
Come from mainland, like deep mainland China, that I never really touched boat until like I decided to pick up sailing.
And you actually tried?
I tried. I did the sailing class. Actually, I like the sailing feeling.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the ocean, like you can't do anything else.
Right.
I almost wanted to buy a boat, by the way, but until I realized that Singapore is too small. You can't really
scale out
too much. And luckily, I didn't buy it because I realized that I was looking for basically new things to do, right? So even if I get it, then I'm sure like after a few months, I will get super bored. And so then I realized that maybe the problem is that I didn't really treat my perspective correctly, right? So that's the part that I was reading a lot of like different type of books. And then I say, okay, this must be midlife crisis. This must be like a certain psychological issue that I supposed to reframe in a different directions. Then I realized, no matter what else I want to do, like I look at others, like people who retire and do some other things and end up trying to treat that thing as something competitive. I say, okay, like human nature, right? It's very difficult to just enjoy something. If you want to create something out of whatever you are doing, right? So take whatever inputs is one thing. In my case, it's knowledge. Generating something outputs as investment generate returns and make some impact to society is another thing. So the input and output should be balanced.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I remember my doctor for around 5 years ago suddenly one time asked me questions Dandy, what's the meaning of life? Actually, her question hit me hard. That the last 5 years I had been keep thinking of these questions. And I read a lot of books about life or meaning. Actually, there's no meaning of life for those who are really interested. Then the conclusion that you need to, there's no meaning in life. You need to create meaning for your life. And create meaning for life, that means you need to create something, right? Life is about balance. You need to enjoy something.
Enjoying, consume and create.
Yeah, consume and create. If a balance, then your life is more balanced. It's not even like a family work balance, right? It's like whatever hobby you appreciate and something you create to give you a sense of satisfaction or meaning.
It's a very interesting journey. So basically, you went through the entire, well, I say really tough midlife crisis after achieving success. And then from thinking originally it being a physical pain and body issue to then later discovering that it's a mind issue, right? And then trying different things, then eventually returning to VC, realizing that actually the fundamentals of what kept you in VC are still there. Basically, the dynamics, the challenges, the fact that it offers the opportunity to learn different fields still challenges you intellectually. It's something that you still enjoy.
Yeah.
But because you lost your sense of purpose and meaning halfway, in a way, especially after achieving the so-called socially defined success, right? Then in a way that you won't be able to execute the task very well. So it's a very interesting loop that you have come back to fulfill, essentially. So what I'm trying to say is, in a way, it seems sometimes it's not necessarily a change of role that will bring you happiness, but how you position yourself.
Yeah, I'm still doing the same job, but when I'm doing my job, my thinking has been different. My perspective has been reframed, and then which make me feel better and much easier to kind of fight through my daily life. Right.
Tell us one thing then. After the, obviously it's a constant evolving process where I'm sure you're still healing, you're still improving yourself in terms of mental health and wellness. But the new version, Genping 2.0, what changes? What changes fundamentally has it bring you to how you deal with your life, how you spend your time, how you approach investment, just holistically, what major changes has it bring you actually?
I say the physical pain still continues, but at a much later level. But the daily life, I'm still doing the same things. But originally when I'm doing the same thing, I was always thinking like, hey, does this really, will this make me some like quick money, right?
Interesting.
I'm ambitious. I want to do a lot of like
is it hot enough topic? Yeah, it's a hot
like
field.
Money, ambition is what drives a lot of the thinking as a primary driver.
Okay.
So when you think about investment, automatically you are thinking what happens in the future with this technology or investment. And then it's just like make my life a bit boring, right? That there's no internal driver.
Internal fulfillment.
Yeah. There's no like something naturally out of itself. It's and another thing I realized that from my midlife crisis that my first 45 years is basically whatever our human like goal, right? Like this one, like anyone will probably, if you think hard, you probably will realize, like, why do you want to achieve certain things? Is it the fundamentally out of your heart you want to achieve it, or just like your parents, your teachers, your society, your friends, everyone want to get the same thing, right? More money, like more like higher ranking. Actually, it's a social like feedback mechanism. Everyone tell you like this is good, you shall get it. This is good, you shall get it. That the same thing when we do investment, this is more money is good, like return is good, you shall get it. Right? I'm not saying this is wrong, but if everything come from like a social like society culture, social pressure, it's not out of your heart, then sooner or later will burn you. That's my feeling. And then what I'm trying to adjust is that now when I look at something like this, is this interesting? Right? If I follow this direction, if it doesn't really generate money, is this something like I shall still do? And then that my conclusion is that if it's interesting enough, I'm curious, then I shall just try to do it. And if it can lead some like good returns, it can lead to opportunities that will generate good returns. That would be fantastic, right?
Okay.
So now there are two layers, right? The first layer is that kind of curiosity is out of my heart.
It's a fundamental driver.
Yeah, fundamental driver. Everyone need to kind of have something that out of their heart to keep them going through the day, even if there's no outcome, and they still won't feel like regret.
Exactly.
And then if that's the case, you probably won't feel like that much stress, right? Because you are doing it for fun. And then the second layer is that okay, I'm managing someone else's money. I do have a fiduciary responsibility. But if my curiosity leads to some kind of mathematical calculation, this one also can generate a lot of return, also can bring impact to the society, then that's probably the best outcome, right? But then if you do this enough on daily basis, then the daily workload will be much easier to handle than before. Because previously you complain about shit, there's too much work.
Yeah.
That now actually there's a lot of interesting idea to explore. That what can be a bad day is that there's nothing intriguing, nothing interesting, right? The money outcome will be a natural outcome, right? So that actually this is also quite obvious in the startup world. Like we generally appreciate like founders who are doing it for something, like for example a vision, with money as a byproduct, as an outcome rather than the driver. Because if they want like you want to make money, and the moment you realize making money is so difficult, you'll be such stress. You'll probably create a lot of like conflict within yourself and with others.
I was gonna say that because now that you have two layers, it's not just the short-term fiduciary duties, right? There's something beyond that kept you going. Now, realistically, in the materialistic world, you still have to fulfill the duty and ensure that they are a good investment. Do you think if each individual in our role have something fundamentally that are driving them, actually the productivity and outcome are also going to be improved in the long run?
I feel curiosity is the driver, right? But in some other contexts, people say passion, right? You need to have a passion. But my job is very like built around knowledge, insights.
Let's say within VC.
Yeah. So within VC, at least it's basically curiosity is the starting point, which kind of bring out the passion for a whole sector, and from this whole sector, you do kind of like build up the ambition to create impact. But in the end, the ambition is still the one kind of enable some more like a bigger outcome. But for me, I feel like curiosity is the one kind of start everything. Because in VC, you really in the beginning, I think we touched a little bit like one of the most difficult part about this business is that you really need to try to go in to understand like a lot of parts of the company and the industry, collect information, talk to people, make sense of everything, and come up with a view that I think 99% of people will be against you, right? Because no one want to take the risk of a future. And only this kind of intellectual curiosity can get you through, because otherwise people want to take shortcut. I can tell you like one example, right? Like everyone want to make money by buying stock.
Right.
Then You ask them to spend all the effort to study a stock. I don't think many people have the patience. You go to read Warren Buffett's book that he knows his company in and out, and then you look around like how many people can do that. I don't think there are many people do it. Even for me, I don't think I can capability to do it because public equity is another game that you really need to manage the financial insights well. But I guess I have the luxury to look at the early stage startup. Financial is less important than the other parts of insights, about the company, about industry, that to give you a glimpse of like to peek into the future. That is more fun to me than the other type of job.
Now here comes the fun part, right? Since you spoke about curiosity, finding out information, betting on the future. In your view, in the next 5 to 10 year scale, what do you think are real opportunities, or how do you view the next 5 to 10 years, specifically within, let's say, Southeast Asia, with a global mindset, of course? Where are the opportunities in your view that you're betting on?
This is a funny story, right? So I joined the Vertex 2010. The firm gave me an interview question. Go to study furniture industry dynamics in Singapore.
Oh, wow. Okay. Furniture.
And because at that time, our team in China is looking at the furniture franchise chain.
Oh, okay.
And they thought China can learn from Singapore. And that was the reality of VC at that time. Then you fast forward 15 years now, China is all about deep tech. Southeast Asia kind of passed, not really passed, but I did a lot of experiments around internet opportunities over the last 10 years. So when we look at the furniture, it's about why we see investing in furniture chain, right? That it's basically a founder building a business. We see it's a venture capital, it's not technology capital.
Yeah.
And it's all about anyone building a venture that can grow fast. So come back to Southeast Asia, right? We had 10 years of good time over the last 10 years. Currently, a lot of VCs are struggling. The whole startup ecosystem are struggling. But I started at a time there's no startup ecosystem in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And I just feel like at this moment, it's a very good time for anyone to do investment. Of course, the challenge is what to invest. This one, I also don't know. But I'm trying to figure out. If I can,
what are some approaches that you were taking to figure out?
If we were figuring out the furniture industry 15 years ago, and if you look at today, Southeast Asia as a whole still have some of the highest GDP growth in the world, 700 million people, plus another 1.4 billion people in India covered by our team collectively. This market has some of the best technology in every consumer hand, which is a smartphone, and have some of the best potential new technology like AI upcoming, and probably more other technologies coming in the next 5 to 10 years. I think the future is just bright, right? And that I can only say the context is 700 million people economy growing with a GDP average like 5 to 7 times.
Wow, that's really great, yeah, still.
If you have such high growth, GDP growth, then within this economy, there will be a lot of companies set up to benefit from this. The lower hanging fruit, of course, is anything related to consumer. Right? If we invest in a furniture chain 15 years ago, I'm sure now there are much better retail opportunities,
right,
consumer opportunities to invest. And then the world is really becoming flat now. That
flat.
Flat means 15 years ago, to learn the best technology, you better be in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Right. Because at that time, I think even computer is slow. You can't even do a video call. Like YouTube just barely started not a long time ago. Like if you're smartest kid in Vietnam, China, how do you learn the best technology? You can say, okay, I don't have I don't know the best technology now, but I use whatever available in my market, trying to build something for my market, which is China was copying from Silicon Valley. Last 10 years, Southeast Asia is copying from US and copying from China. And the next 5-10 years, as of now, actually, everyone on this market have the capability or possibility to learn the best technology from Silicon Valley to YouTube, through all the podcasts, through all the social channels, and they shall be able to compete directly with other parts of the world. Right? China already doing that. DeepSeek compared to OpenAI, even with a limitation of all the infrastructures.
Right. Yeah.
I see Singapore, quite a lot of consumer company building brands for the world. There are also AI company basically targeting the whole world. Emerging country, Vietnam, there are 22 years case building product for US or for other parts of the world. That for wherever there are drive, there are talent, there are curiosity, that there will be companies rising to build for the region and for the whole world, right? Of course, this is based on the kind of so-called individual opportunities. Every individual to have this opportunity nowadays compared to 15 years ago. And we did see some positive signals here and there. But the larger one, of course, the larger challenge is the ecosystem. Individuals, you can't really, it will be hard for you to fight for the world. You can build small things, but not big things. So, but those directions are up that I continue to feel excited that consumer software, AI applications, and anything you see other parts of the world, you may see something affiliated in this region. So 10 years ago, I would say something similar in this region, but the sense of world is becoming flat. If you build the ChatGPT in the valley, then Vietnamese are going to use it. But if you a Vietnamese building on top of ChatGPT for the world, then it will be probably very interesting. Another example, for example, Shopify. Shopify is a shopping cart solution from Canada, right? That there are a lot of developers, Vietnamese developers building on Shopify marketplace, different modules. They are very nimble, they are very flexible, they are very hardcore of optimizing, and to a degree that a lot of the Western developer houses probably are not competitive enough against them.
Amazing.
But the what they are building, the individual opportunity may not be big enough, but give them the first 1 million, 10 million, 100 million type of wealth accumulation. Next wave of founders coming out of them will be targeting the $1 billion. But they probably want to build another large foundation model, but they will probably build on top of what has been built in China and US, and still generate multi-billion type of potential.
Interesting. So basically tapping on the increasingly accessible frontier AI infrastructures and then create values for local context, essentially. If we dive a little deeper, because AI, I believe is here to stay, at least on infrastructure, on the future of rails. So how do you see, where are the areas that real values are going to be created within Southeast Asia context, whether it's push factor or pull factor, meaning to say whether it's driven by demand or pain, in your view?
So, sorry, my view is a little bit different, right?
Okay.
That when you are building for local context, then generally the value creation and capture
Limited.
will be either limited or there'll be high friction, means you need to do a lot of customization integration.
I see.
The system integrator house will still make a good profit, and the users, which is the corporate, will still benefit to improve their own productivity and competitive advantage. But so far from what I say, that in the next decade, that you might be difficult to copy what's in US
Right.
to build
You can't,
a local version. For
yeah,
example,
no longer that.
like we have Grab,
Yeah.
our portfolio kind of copy Uber and kind of fine-tuned for Southeast Asia. But in the current AI world, I find that will be increasingly difficult. Whatever happens in Silicon Valley will be used here. It's very difficult to customize for local version and optimize it. So that means whatever you either try to build connectors to the local economy, do a lot of like integration, customization, end up like a more consulting oriented, or you shall try to build something
Aim for the global, essentially.
for the global, but may not be as big as those competitors in Silicon Valley. But because in Silicon Valley, everyone's targeting 10 billion opportunity.
Yeah, right. The big firms.
You can say like I'm building something complement them, but I'm going to target 500 million to 1
More
billion.
complicating to the ecosystem, but for the global scale.
Yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
from there, that you slowly scale up the game, right? That until one day, like you probably can build the deep seek of this region, right? So currently, I think deep tech frontier tech in this region might still be a bit challenging.
Okay.
I mean, Singapore is a bit different, but the other countries are still trying to upgrade their role in the global supply chain ecosystem.
When you say difficult, is it in terms of the access to talent, the access to frontier technology and infra to build upon it? What do you mean? Or are we not yet so ready to in a way balance the short-term, the requirement on the ROI versus the long-term investment? What do you mean by difficult?
It's a lot of things connected together, right? It's that take the example of semiconductors. So Vietnamese government is trying to promote like semiconductor sectors, but you need to have a talent, not just a top talent. You need to have an ecosystem of talent. This itself will take multi years to build.
Right.
Then if you really need to have certain like core advantage, you probably want a foundry. You need to have investors who know this space. You need to have like electronics manufacturing chain who wanted to use your product.
Right.
So those are things that took China, I think, probably 30 years to build.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. And it's very difficult to kind of build up everything in one go, right? It's always up.
Right. It's like a Lego play, one support one another, and then until the chain is present.
Yeah. So if you want to see major wave of deep tech frontier tech in this region, I think it will take another probably 15 to 20 years. But in between, you will see like some opportunities kind of slowly coming up somewhere. So I was in Vietnam recently. I saw like companies doing brainwave detector.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To help you to monitor your mental situation. Then I also see like company doing the next generation AI chip. So they may all have different level of success because in the end they need to play the global kind of ecosystem or value chain type of game. But in the long run, if you really need to see like big wave of this type of companies,
I see. It's still going to take some time. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Genping. I wish we have more time. Let's just wrap up with one advice or maybe your personal definition on our podcast title, More Than One Path. What does more than one path mean to you personally? And what is one piece of advice that you wish to leave to the audience?
Well, I started my work as engineer, right, at the Motorola. So on the side, I was also trying some like startup effort. Then I got bored and I went to US for MBA, and I worked as like different roles, including like a sales account manager in US, where my English was really bad at the time. I think it's all about being open-minded. That ask yourself like, are you enjoy what you're doing? If you're not, try to figure out why and try to figure out that is there a better way to enjoy your life. we all have only one life, and in the end, you want to enjoy your life, and all of us are born like in a different way with different personalities and interests, with also because of our personal history, and then there are many ways to make you feel your life better. So like certainly there are more than one path, but then also fundamentally do kind of remember like my personal change over the last few years is that even if it's the same job, you can change your perspective.
Yes.
And so that still become like different path.
Absolutely. I was exactly having that same takeaway as well. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be necessarily mean a completely different role or task, but sometimes it's how we see our life and approach towards life, our perspectives and motivations. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us here again. And really, we hope